Okay, and we are back in the Quizlet. We are looking at the BMET 101 account in Quizlet, just so you can get a real feel for how you can set up your own account if you are so inclined. So one of the things you'll notice is that over here under folders, the BMET 101 account has 3 folders, and I have organized them by Test 1, Test 2, and Test 3. So the sets under Test 3 are the ones that would be most helpful when prepping for that exam, just like the ones under Test 2 or the ones under Test 1. Now, if you wanted to do something like this yourself, you're going to have your folders and there would be nothing under it except for this create a folder, and you would click on that and create yourself a folder. Now, to add the actual decks to the folder, you come here to study sets, you click on one of them, and it tells you actually right up here. So Transformers added to Test 3. So it is in a folder already, but if it wasn't, and I wanted to put it in a folder, all I have to do is hit this plus sign. It comes up with this little thing here, and I can put add to folder. Now, it's already in Test 3, which is why it says I can take it away from Test 3, but it also says that I can add it to Test 1 or Test 2. So however you have your folders designed, if you do decide to do those, that's how you would add them. So it would come up with your folder or folders with a little plus sign next to it, and you just hit the plus sign, it will automatically go into that folder. Okay, one other thing I want to look at too while I'm on here is this. So if I am studying for a test that has multiple sections that are on my Quizlet decks, I can do this. I can go to combine sets. So if I was studying for Test 3, I might use transformers, and I would want diodes, and I would want, let's see, time constants, and resonance, and I think that might be what I would want. So then you can also choose from the drop down here. Do you want to look at the cards? Do you want to do the test? Do you want to match? So you can pick whatever it is that you want to do. Let's say we wanted to test. And we go there. So what it's going to do is it's going to give you a combination of those questions. Now I'm going to want to customize my test because I don't like the way that they automatically come up. They come up with a little of everything. So I go to the options, and I take out the written and the multiple choice, or no, the matching, sorry, leave the multiple choice, take out the true false. And I can change the number of questions, so I could have 10, I could have 20. So if I wanted a different number of questions, I could change that. You can go to the maximum number of cards that are in the combined deck. So in this case, it's 54. So you can't have a test that has more than 54 questions because there aren't more than those. You can decide on term or definition, either one. And it kind of defines down here what it is. So if you have the definition checks, you will be asked to recall the definition. If you have the term, you will be asked to recall the term in the definition. If you have just the one, you're asked to recall the term. So you get the idea. So we're going to put both of them down just to kind of see what happens and create our test. Now, the thing to remember in some of these tests is sometimes the multiple choice is going to work great, and sometimes it's not going to work great. Like, for instance, so an RL circuit, time constant 1 is. So that might be an okay multiple choice question. But number 12 here, which says 2.67 watts, that's probably not a great multiple choice question. So then you're going to kind of want to be critical when you're looking at the questions and how you want to design them, because not all of them are going to be the same. We're going to go and check out an example of this. All right. So when you go to your study sets, we're going to look at electricity fundamentals, mainly because electricity fundamentals is almost entirely term and definition. And actually, so do you see this little often missed, sometimes missed, never missed? So those kinds of things, those are actually part of the learn feature. And we'll take a look at that Well, we'll take a look at it now real quick. So the Learn feature is one that students seem to really like. I find a lot of students that like using it. So you can go to options, you can choose flashcards or multiple choice or written or all three. And then written is okay as long as you're at a computer. And just be aware that this is a computer program. So if you leave out a word or you leave out a space or you spell it differently than we spelled it or we spell it, you know. So anyway, if the spelling is different, it's going to say it's wrong. But it's not necessarily wrong. It depends. And there's an option there that says, oh, I got it right, even though it might say it was wrong. You can also decide whether term or definition again. So, and you can turn the audio on or off. Let's go ahead and say, okay, we're good with that. And we're going to get started so we can look at it. Okay, so it gives us kind of an idea of what we've done so far. So we've mastered 2, we're familiar with 2, we've seen 10, and there are 28 new here. So this is just kind of a general, this is how you're doing. So now we look at this one. This is a flashcard part of Learn. And you'll see it has volts on one side and then measurement for voltage on the other side. So volt is a measurement for voltage. Okay, got it. So types of secondary cell batteries. Let me see. There's lithium ion and lead acid and nickel metal hydride. And what else do we got? Oh, nickel cadmium. Okay. So maybe I need to study that one again. Resistor color code violet. Which one is that, right? I look at the other side, 7. Maybe I'm going to study that one again. And you get the idea. Now this is one of the multiple choice questions that are in Learn. So measured in parallel. Which ones are measured in parallel? Let's see. Voltage and resistance. Correct. Yay. Let's try the next one. Resistor color code green. So that one's 5. Yes, I got it. Battery that is primarily used in low power applications like watches, hearing aids, pacemakers, and cameras. All right, well, that one's not very difficult, but we're going to answer it wrong just because I want you to see what it looks like. So there you go. Study this one again. This is the correct answer. It tells you what you said, and you press to continue. We're not going to go through this too much more. You get an idea of how it works, and it just keeps track of how many you get wrong and how many you get right, and that's where these little stat pieces come from. Okay, we're going to take a break here because I hate when these things start to get long, but we are going to look next time at some of the best ways to organize your tests and using matching and then using the app.